I'm Van Sebastian here with my co-host S.A. Baz Collins for this week's Written on the Edge, Season 8, Episode 40, Last Week This Morning. It's just Baz and I sharing headlines and culture news that caught our attention during the week of September 10 to 16, plus nominating our wins for last week. Morning, Baz.
Morning. Just trying to get a pin so I don't clap too much. That's why I'm fiddling over here going, give me a goddamn pin.
All right. Jumping into the headlines that caught my attention. It looks like California Assembly Bill 1078 will be passed into law soon. This is the law that will specifically prohibit the governing board of a school district, county board of educators, or the governing body of a charter school from refusing to approve the or prohibit the use of any book based on an individual's group, diverse, racial, or cultural characteristics. Any school that bans such books will lose state funding, and existing state law requires social science classes to include contributions of diverse groups, including, among others, LGBTQ plus Americans and members of other ethnic and cultural groups. Yay. Yay. Hopefully it sets precedent for all these other states in the nation. However, all is not sunny in California. The school boards in both Temecula, which is in Southern California, and Sunol in the Bay Area have voted to ban pride flags. The exchanges in both cases have been heated, parents are disappointed, and communities are trying to find a way to deal with this level of hatred. One Navy veteran actually went on the news in Temecula and said taking down a pride flag is telling people they're not wanted. How un-American is that? You're telling them, go into the closet, be quiet, we don't want to see you. We don't want to acknowledge you. And that
Pretty
Navy
much.
veteran is right. So, come on, California, you can overcome this hatred. I believe in you. I believe in you. In
Newsom will get wind of
international,
it and he'll something will happen. So I'm not worried about it.
well, they might lose some state funding if more laws get passed that say, hey, let's not be a discriminatory state.
Yep.
In international news, in Andorra, which legalized same sex marriage earlier this year, their leader came out. So specifically, their prime minister is now one of the LGBTQ plus world leaders. He clarified his sexual orientation in an interview on both radio and television on Monday, saying plainly, I'm gay, I've never hid it, but now if I'm asked, I don't have to say it. And in that sense, it doesn't define the entirety of who I am, and even less my personal politics. He continued, at the same time, I think it shouldn't be a problem to express it, and he did want to use this moment to spread the message that orientation should not determine whether someone is embraced or successful. So, Prime Minister Xavier, you have my full support. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you use rideshare programs, Lyft, which was the first to allow riders and drivers to choose their pronouns, is taking the next step. They're starting a program called Women Plus Connect that will prioritize matches between women and non-binary customers and drivers. They're rolling out this inclusive project at a time when so many companies are shying away from explicit inclusion of transgender and non-binary people, according to the Human Rights Campaign. So, bravo, Lyft. This new feature will roll out for early access in Chicago, Phoenix, San Diego, San Francisco, and San Jose, California. Love it. In keeping up in the news for the Battle of Trans Rights, in my own corner, the Milwaukee, Wisconsin Police Department is going to stop publicizing race and gender in the media. Officials stated to maintain both the privacy and dignity of crime victims, their families, and loved ones, the Milwaukee Police Department will no longer proactively report out to the community victim information related to gender or race. The department's chief of staff, Heather Ho, told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that the policy change comes after the MPD misgendered 3 transgender murder victims in media releases in the last 9 months. So I know the police are not everybody's favorite, but I did think it was important to highlight that this police force is trying to do the right thing.
Yep. They
It's
just need to see who the
nice to
hell
see.
is releasing their media and fire that fucker because they're the ones who are letting it go through. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Having worked
Well, and
for civil government, I know how that shit works.
and they have appointed someone in the department who's specifically a cultural outreach to both LGBT culture as well as other ethnic groups.
Good.
So I'm like I said, I want to highlight that in some cases, police departments are trying to do the right thing. Change is slow, baby steps, and of course, the detractors and haters at Fox News went ballistic and claimed that the Milwaukee PD is going to hide victim gender and race. Well, no, they're just not going to announce it in the
They're
media.
just
It's
not
still
gonna
going to be in all the
publish it.
reports.
He can still get a FOIA, or he can still get an information request.
It will always be in the reports after it's verified. So
Oh
Fox.
fuck!
In good news, there is a fertility clinic inclusive of queer and transgender people set to be opening in Pittsburgh in the spring of 2024. The facility, which is a partnership between the Allegheny Reproductive Health Center and the Mate Fertility, will offer sperm and egg donation, surrogacy services, and in vitro fertilization and hormone therapy specifically for trans individuals and families. Bravo. And my final piece of really good news, Ithaca, New York has officially declared itself a safe haven for transgender people. Last week, the city's Common Council unanimously approved a bill to emphasize existing anti discrimination laws and protect access to gender affirming care. And here's why this is important. As it was reported in the Ithaca Voice, they also said the city would not work with out of state law enforcement officials looking to punish those who travel to New York to receive legal health care. Bravo. So, spread the news far and wide. Ithaca's on your side.
Huh, that should be
I
their
should go
tagline.
write. I was gonna say I should go write jingles for this
All
community.
right.
What have you got?
All right. Mine is not a cherry list. I'm actually focusing on things that are red flags for the community. Starting off with Ian
Mm,
McKellen worries about the return of Thatcher's Section 28. Things aren't looking so good. It's his quote. Sir Ian McKellen has expressed fears of the return of Thatcher's infamous Section 28 as the government considers new guidance that could ban social transitioning in schools. Section 28, which was introduced by Prime Minister and that shit stain of a human being, Margaret Thatcher, in 1988, banned the promotion of homosexuality in schools, and remained in place until it was repealed in Scotland in 2000 and England and Wales in 2003. That fucking long, people. 2003. Okay. Yeah, and whoever is a Thatcher fan out there, come for me. Trust me, I've got the receipts. I will prove the sure shit stainness. All right, moving on. Gay guys reveal why being in a queer platonic relationship is better than a romantic one. Evidently, there's a new uptick and upswing in queer relationships that don't involve sex or romance. Doesn't negate intimacy, but it just has removed some of the mm, problematic parts of a relationship that can get in the way. And it seems to be something that a lot of the children out there are considering. So just wanted to put that out there and let people know that that's available. By the way, you can read the entire article on Queerty. It's written by Jake Myers. Moving on. So it's really, this is also from Queerty. It is determining that this year is the year of the bisexual man because of all the representation that's going on in the media. They're saying that not only, you have red, white, and royal blue, there are other pieces of stuff that's out there, Heartstopper, there are
Heartstopper,
other,
yeah.
yeah. So we're getting a lot of gay or bisexual male representation. It hasn't been so much a problem on the female side, because straight men who run the business tend to really like the idea of two women because they're the right guy that's going to come along and fix it. But the bisexual men are an issue in representation. It seems to be the most silent out of all the bees that can go on. Binary, bi, women, bi men. But they're saying that this year it has been a particularly good year for bisexual representation. There was also Harry Styles' role in My Policeman too, so
Hmm.
there was that.
Yeah.
So yeah, great representation going on. I'm here for it. Being married to a bisexual man. All right. So there is a new movie that I've talked about before called Fellow Travelers, which is coming out. The Queerty is highlighting, and this is by the editorial board. They're highlighting that from Elite to Fellow Travelers, which will be out later on this year, there are 15 queer TV shows that they're most excited to see this fall. And not to say that this is a indictment of those offerings, but with the strike going on, there's not going to be a lot of things to watch out there. So anything we can get our hands on that has queer representation, we're going to do our best to promote. So just want to let you know that some people think that um, if they want, they'll watch British shows or other shows that are produced outside of it. A lot of these shows are co-produced with American studios. Think Amazon, think Netflix, think so those shows are affected too, people. So just realize those offerings are going to get slimmer and slimmer. But that's the whole point of the strike, to make them realize we can get you to the bargaining table because we're going to bring the industry down if we have to. And that is an important point. So I just wanted to bring all of that up. All right, moving on. One bit of happy news: court orders anti-gay clerk Kim Davis to pay $100,000 to the same-sex couple she refused to marry. Love that. Love when karma gets spread around and we all get to see it. I made some popcorn
Hmm.
for the occasion. Josh O'Connor has a new upcoming gay romance movie that's enlisted the help of some major musical star power in the form of um, Ollie Alexander. I could blank on his name for a second. And it's basically a coming of age story. And Josh O'Connor, who played in the movie God's Own Country, he's one of the producers of it. And it looks like it's going to be an excellent film. I don't think they have a date yet. Maybe they do. There doesn't appear to be a date available for it yet. Once I do find out about it, I will circle back here. So we'll put a pin on that. But the name of the film is called Bonus Track. So just keep an eye out for that one. Trans woman is elected to Nashville Metro Council. So this is a wonderful thing. Olivia Hill is the first openly transgender person ever elected to Nashville's Metro Council, according to the LGBTQ plus Victory Fund. Hill is the first transgender woman elected in Tennessee history. Hill secured one of the council's 5 at-large seats in Thursday's runoff election with 12.9% of the vote. Now, as of 10 p.m. Thursday night, when they were doing the ballot counting, she joins a historical number of women elected to the council. All 5 at-large members will be women, as well as 17 district council members. That adds up to 22 women, the majority of the 40-member council. So bravo, Olivia Hill.
Nice.
Love that.
Nice.
Moving on. So this one popped first thing this morning. So it's not technically last week, but it's on the Advocate's website. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because teachers are being silenced on LGBTQ issues and more. There's an article up by Trudy Ring at advocate.com. Being afraid to feature the work of queer artists, seeing a Mother's Day reading canceled because of a book featuring 2 moms, removing safe space stickers, getting fired because of one parent's complaint. That's where we are, people. So be kind to the teachers out there. They are navigating a very, very treacherous world, even here in the bubble state of California.
Hmm.
So there's that. And let's see, there is an LGBT group that is running a coordinated effort. What they're trying to do is they're highlighting there's on bans on gender affirming care are just the tip of the iceberg, that a coordinated effort to eliminate LGBTQ plus people of all ages from public life, according to the new report of the Movement Advancement Project, or MAP, an organization that tracks policies on LGBTQ plus issues and voting. The MAP's 5-part report on the national trend, entitled Under Fire, notes that states are restricting access to gender affirming care for transgender youth and adults, passing religious exemptions to deny medical care for LGBTQ plus people, increasing the difficulty of obtaining accurate identity documents, listing trans people's correct gender identity, censoring coverage of LGBTQ plus issues in schools, and increasing the targeted harassment and violence of queer people, all while eroding our voting rights. So just wanted to put that one out there. You can check out the MAP report. It's kind of grim reading, but it does keep you abreast of where we are. And it's wonderful that there's a group out there that is actually monitoring this, along with probably the Southern Poverty Law Center. These are the types of groups that do put out these reports and keep track of all of this stuff, so we don't have to go digging around for it. So just wanted to put that out there. And that's all I have of the news of this week. What do you got for Who Won Your Week?
My win has got to go to the usher who had to, in the course of his job, say, Excuse me, Representative Bobert, but if you and your man want to feel each other up and sing very badly, I'm going to have to ask you to go to your private vaping room somewhere out of this facility.
I suggest Mars.
And poor Usher, and still a hero because it happened anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that whole story just smacks of the hypocrisy, and I
The
just
fuck?
do not understand
Well, it's also,
why.
she was packed into that fucking dress like the bimbo Bobert she is. And
I
she's talking
know.
about, well, it's because of my divorce. No, bitch, you were a fucking hoe from the moment you slid out of your mother's womb. Okay, let's just call it as it is. You just a tired, trashy hoe that has lost her way to her trailer park. I'm
Please stop
so over
insulting
her.
horse.
Her and Major Turd Sheen. Those two just need to like follow down the sewer pipe and never be seen from again. I'm over them.
Oh, I
So
know.
over them.
They need to be ejected into space where they can go hunt for their own Jewish space laser.
You're right. No, I'd find that Jewish space laser myself and do the firing. I'd rev up that baby while I'm eating a knish.
So, what about your win?
My win actually is a dovetail on what you just said. My win is thank God for the inexpensive and very broadly available video cameras that are around because we need to catch these motherfuckers in the act. And that has been proving to be a big benefit. Hence the Bobert story. She tried to paint it in her own little way that she was the victim here. And yet there's more than
Mm-hmm.
ample proof and closed circuit camera in the theater that shows what a fucking little cunt she was. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to use that word for that bitch. Come at me. So, anyways, that I'm giving
This
my win of the
episode
week
will be
to
marked explicit.
I'm giving my win of the week to video cameras.
Nice. All right, folks, Written on the Edge is produced by Rogue Ravens Media. For our disclaimers, links to social media, our listen stations, or to sign up as a guest, visit www.roadpodcast.com. If you enjoy learning about new artists or hearing our thoughts on entertainment media, please like and subscribe so you get the alerts to new episodes. Support us on Patreon, help us keep the lights on, like us on YouTube, follow us, recommend us to somebody, help us get just a few more follows, and we'll be golden. Tune in next week for your queer media fix.
And not all women are that, just her.
Oh, what's that?
Closing time. The bums rush in melody, dear.